grab a notebook, grab a pen. I'm about to give you a masterclass on success. So you better tap the fuck in or you get the fuck out of my class, okay? Understand that success begins with entry in whatever space you're beginning with, okay? Success begins with entry. Understand that success is like a door, okay? This is a door and this is you. This is you and this is a door. And with all your dreams, you're like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an actor, I want to be a musician. But what you do not understand is in whatever field you want to operate in successfully, there's something called entry. And the price of entry to success will always be shame, okay? You all are not ready for this conversation? You all are not ready for this conversation. The price of entry, I'm going to write it for you. Price of entry is shame. So this being the door that you want to enter, this being the realm of success that you would like to experience, most of you stand at the door, okay? Most of you stand at the door. But for some reason you procrastinate and you hold back and you always find excuses. Is it because it's not the perfect time? No. It's because you are afraid of paying the ultimate price of entry, which is actually shame. Because if you start posting on social media, if you start advertising your business, if you start following your dreams, yeah? If you start pursuing your dreams, if you start experimenting with whatever craft you'd like to perfect on, all this and many more are going to put you in a position whereby you will have to be seen. Understand that the visibility is the currency of success, okay? And for you to gain visibility, you must overcome shame. So for most of you, you are bankrupt energetically. You're not able to pay the price, which is shame. And that is why you're constantly stuck. That is why there's other people on this other side being successful, while you are stuck here, constantly making excuses, constantly crying every single day, constantly saying that, you know what, I'm gonna do this, but you never end up doing it because you're afraid of paying the cost. Now understand that society has trained you to feel embarrassment. Society has trained you to feel shameful. Society has trained you to feel like what you are doing is wrong because you're supposed to be seen. Understand that creativity requires visibility, okay? And for you to gain visibility, you must be shameless. You must be shameless. Now, what does this mean? It doesn't mean that you just walk around naked, insulting everyone. That is not being shameless. That is just being a madman. When it comes to being shameless, it means overcoming the fear of being seen. Understand that every single time you're in front of people, 99% of the time, you are focused on what they think about you, what they say about you, how they feel about you, what your dressing looks like, how they feel about your scent, how they feel about your posture, how they feel about your phone. 99% of the time you pedestalize other people's opinions and perceptions. And that is why you constantly struggle with shame. You need to de-pedestalize that. De-pedestalize people's perceptions of you. This is you. And this is your dream. You know, this is the dream life. Understand that it is a door to a reality. While there's other people on this side living the life that you want, being influencers, being social media gurus, being businessmen, having cars and having all these things. You will never be able to experience this because you're not doing what they do. And what they do is dance with that shame. Understand that you hide behind that shame because you pedestalize other people's opinions. But what you need to do is to de-pedestalize other people's opinions. I'll give you a very good example. Yeah? You say you want to start content creation. You say you want to start content creation. But see, content creation requires, first of all, it requires guts. It requires creativity. Because why would you be a content creator if you're not creative? It just doesn't match. It requires having a bold level of audacity, something I like to call ambiguosity. And it requires patience. Now, a lot of you might tell me, yeah, I got the guts. Yeah, I'm creative. Yeah, I'm ambitious. Yeah, I'm patient. But see, all these things are byproducts of you dancing with shame. So as long as you're not willing to be seen, as long as you're not comfortable being visible, you will not be able to do you won't be able to do all these other things. So you have to understand that the price of entry to success is shame. Now we're going to look at why you actually feel shame in the first place, okay? Understand that shame is not yours. The voice of doubt you feel in your head, those voices that, let me let go of this burden, turn and look at you properly. The voice that you constantly hear in your head, the fear that you constantly face, the stress you're constantly dealing with every single day, that you internalize as shame and low self-esteem, is actually not yours. It is your parents' voice, it is your siblings' voice, it is your friends' voice. It is the voices of the people who have significant roles in your life that are actually manifesting and are actually being very proactive in your mind. And you take those thoughts and you think that they are yours. They are not yours. Those thoughts of, I can't do it, I can't make it, I am not successful enough, I am not smart enough, they are not yours. They are the voices of every other person around you. And that is why when it comes to overcoming shame, you need to devalue the voices that do not align with the vision that you have. Devalue, okay, voices that don't align. DVTDA. So when it comes to the concept of letting go of shame, you need to devalue the voices of those people that don't align. What I mean by this is, if you, back to the idea of content creation, if you want to be a content creator, content creation is hard. You will not wake up and go viral. You will post videos for the longest time and they'll be stuck at 300 views. Some even will be stuck at 150 views. No comments with over 1 week. If you have to understand that the people you have around you will determine your experiences with regards to chasing your dreams. So if they're looking down on you, if they're discouraging you, if they're shaming you, if they are making fun of you, you will not be able to sustain this reality of being a content creator. Either you will stop or you will find excuses to stop. Okay? That is why you probably have dreams and you've had dreams in the past, but you've always found ways of stopping and giving up because the voices around you devalued what you are doing. So when it comes to overcoming shame, to pay the price, when it comes to entering success, you need to devalue the voices of people that do not align with the vision you are trying to create. So if for you it's a matter of being a content creator, if you say you have the guts, you have the courage, if you say you're confident that you're creative, if you say that you're ambitious, which means you have audacity and you're not afraid to stand up and be yourself, and if you say that you have patience, which means you're willing to stay in this thing for the long run, you need voices that reinforce all these character traits when it comes to success. Because if you have people around you saying that you're not confident, they will cancel out your ambitiosity. If you have people around you saying that you have no guts, they will devalue your confidence. If you have people around you saying that you're not creative, they will shame your ideas. And if you have people around you who say that you are not patient, that you do not know how to fight for things that you love, you will give up because you will internalize their perceptions as your truth. And understand that what you believe to be truth will become true, whether you like it or not. What you believe to be true will become truth, whether you like it or not. So when it comes to success, the price that you need to pay is shame. High vibrational people understand this. People who operate on a level of understanding and self-awareness, they have a clear knowledge as to what shame is. They understand that shame is the construct that was set in place by society to obstruct you from actually getting to where you want to get to. Because if you're afraid, you will not show up. If you don't show up, you will not be seen. If you're not seen, you will not be heard. If you're not heard, you will not become influential. When you do not have influence, you do not have success. Success is based on being influential, not being an influencer. Get me right. Be influential. Being an influencer is also okay. I don't shame influencers, but at the end of the day, being influential is good in the long run. Okay? So you have to understand that that is why society likes you being shameful. That is why society likes it when you play small. That is why people around you are comfortable when you constantly procrastinate on your dreams. But they do not hold you accountable for the projects you had since last month. I'd like you to analyze the circle around you. If you have people around you who do not check up on your dreams, people who do not hold you accountable to promises you made to yourself last year, people who are constantly urging you to play small and to constantly procrastinate on your dreams, then those people are reinforcing shame in your life. Because when you do not chase your dreams, you continue to procrastinate. You procrastinate, you hate yourself. You hate yourself, you do not believe you're good enough. You do not believe you're good enough, you never get anywhere. That is why you stay stuck. Now that you have a basic understanding of how shame has been holding you back, we are going to look into how to actually tap into success. Understand that success is not material belongings. Success is not materials, and I'm going to tell you this. Success is not materials. There is not a lot of you are running in circles. The reason a lot of you are struggling is because you've internalized the concept of success as ownership of belongings. But success is not belongings. Success is a state of existence. Okay? And for me to prove this right, I'm going to give you two scenarios. You have person 1 and you have person 2. 1, 2. Person 1 is very rich. I'm talking dollars, I'm talking. Person 2 is very poor. No money, can't even afford their basic meal for the day. Now, person 2 won a lottery, okay? They won a jackpot. They took a bet and they won like 1 million. Let's say they won 1 million. There's a high possibility that if you follow up on this person, 2 years from now, they will not be having this 1 million. They will actually be very poor. I'm getting back into it. Well, on this other person, this person number 2, they were very rich and they ended up going bankrupt. Okay? There's a possibility that 2 years from now, they will be rich again. So how is it that the initial state of existence, rich, will always end up being the final one, rich, despite what happens in the middle, bankruptcy, as compared to this one also, who in the start was very poor. In the end, still stayed poor, even as much as in the middle, they won a lottery, they won the jackpot. It's because success is not material belongings. Success is a state of existence. That is why millionaires can lose everything and build back the entire legacies within the same stipulated time, while poor people get money and they lose it. Look at yourself as a vessel. Okay? Look at yourself as a vessel. And success being a state of existence, it flows through you. Success is not you. Success is flowing through you. Okay? Stay with me, stick with me. Success is flowing through you. So what happens, the reason we say that success is flowing through you is because success in itself is currency. Success in itself is currency, and money flows through you. Currency flows through you, because when you hand this is $1, okay? When you hand this $1 to this shopkeeper who has sold you a loaf of bread, you've not given them money. You've created a medium of energetic exchange. That is why currency is energy. That is why rich people move to fast-paced places like Dubai, because success loves speed. That is why when you start working on a project and you stop, it will either go stagnant or it will no longer have the results that it was giving you. That is why you constantly need to stay in motion, both physically, energetically, and spiritually. Okay? Understand that success is a state of existence. The mistake that a lot of people do, like I mentioned earlier, is they focus on accumulating material belongings. And the problem with this is you're going to have Birkin bags, but they're going to look at you in that cupboard. But a rich person is going to focus on investing their money in things that are actually assets, things that will actually reproduce back. And that is not necessarily land, it is not necessarily property. Sometimes it is people. People are assets. That is why networking is a very vital key when it comes to success. That I was talking about. Success is a state of existence. And how I'm going to help you accumulate, how I'm going to help you get to it, is by analyzing your mentality about success. Keep in mind that we already dissected the concept of shame and how it's been holding you back. Now we're going to go into your mentality. Understand that your mentality is what you believe. And for most people, we believe things so long and so strong that we actually do not believe it's beliefs anymore. Because beliefs, mentality is based off of beliefs. And beliefs are sunglasses. Beliefs are sunglasses. And we do not look at our sunglasses. We look through them. So our sunglasses actually affect our experiences. So this is reality, and this is you. So you do not experience reality, you experience your beliefs, because these specs right here, these are your beliefs. That is why what a rich person believes is not what a poor person believes. What a sick person believes is not what a healthy person believes. What differentiates you and me is not the fact that I'm a girl or you're a man, or I'm young and you're old. It's simply what I choose to believe. I don't have what you don't. I simply believe something that you don't. Or I don't believe something that you do. Back to the concept of shame. So understand that what shame does, shame is it infiltrates your beliefs. Okay? Shame infiltrate your beliefs, and understand that shame is an emotion, and our emotion directs our beliefs. And our beliefs direct our actions. And our actions direct our experiences. Light bulb moment. Let me let go of the board once again. Shame is an emotion, and emotions affect your beliefs. Your beliefs affect your actions, and your actions affect your experiences, and vice versa. It's not a one-way, it's a two-way street. So sometimes it is your experiences that will affect your actions, that will then solidify your beliefs, that will then affect your emotions. So you have to be really careful. That is why rich people are shameless, and they're shameless for a reason. Because when you are not shameless, when you have no shame, when you've cancelled out the emotion of shame, because shame is is among the lowest emotions on the scale of emotions. I don't know if it's called, I'll put it somewhere here. On the scale of consciousness, yes. Shame and guilt is literally so low vibrational, it's next to death. It's literally next to death. I'll put it up for you to see. So people who don't have shame, the rich people who don't have shame, when they don't have shame, they operate off of happiness. They operate off of freedom. They experiment with their free will. And this in turn affects their beliefs. And they believe that I am capable, I am able, I can get everything that I want. It's not just affirmations, it's beliefs of existence. And once they believe that, they become more bold in their actions. So they take more steps. They pitch their ideas. They show up even when they're not feeling okay. They fight for their dreams. They show up when no one else is clapping. And the next thing you know, their experience has changed. They've hit bank. They're millionaires. They're running businesses. And they've become successful. So if you keep asking yourself, what is it that my friends are doing that I'm not doing? It's just one thing. They are shameless and you are shameful. Sorry to say, they are shameless and you are shameful. So what you need to do is to eradicate the concept of shame, because shame is a tool that was constructed to deal with your visibility as a person. It was tailored to hold you back. So what you need to do is to eradicate the concept of shame. Bottom line, success is a state of existence, and it is fueled by not having shame. So when you have shame, you block success. Success, the barrier to entry of success is very high. Not because it's expensive to start a business, but because it's expensive to actually release all inhibition and allow yourself to be free to your passions. So before you start complaining and saying that my dreams are too expensive, ask yourself, have you released the shame? I've given you a masterclass on success. Let me know down in the comments if you want more. See you in the next class.